Good morning, curiosities. So I'm actually waiting for my laundry to finish before I head to work. But I figured, hey, I have some time to talk to you guys and just whatever. It'll be fun. And I need to do more of these. So I have also put a link below for a karaoke thing I did on Smule, I think is how it's pronounced, for a fight song. I'd really like to actually do a version of that I can put up on YouTube, but right now figuring out recording and what the doctor's doing, and I might end up just doing it old school how I used to do it rather than the full-blown production, but we'll see. That's there. Oh, and also, of course, the raffle link, which you should definitely go enter. You just enter a comment into the blog comments. It's going to be your favorite quote, all that jazz. And yeah, now that that's all out of the way, let's talk about random stuff. Okay, so I'm sure at this point you have seen the meme that's been going around for, I want to say, a few years at this point. I've seen a resurgence lately of Chip and Dale from Rescue Rangers and how they resemble Indiana Jones and Magnum P.I. If you haven't seen that yet, ooh. Now, I've had a lot of people just, accept this and be like, whoa, mind blown, because the resemblance is kind of hard to ignore. And then I've had a few older people who are like, no, you guys are stupid. Chip and Dale have been around since the 1940s, which would be correct. The 1940s part, not the stupid part. Don't call people stupid. However, Mr. Snooty Snoots, what you might not know is that Rescue Rangers, which was a rebranding, while Chip and Dale did exist prior to that, they existed mostly in shorts and I believe maybe the comics, but they look completely different, as you know. They were naked, for one, and you could really only separate them by their nose colors. Chip, of course, was black and Dale was red. Also, their personalities were a lot more similar than as we know them today. You see, Rescue Rangers was actually first conceived to be sort of a companion show for Disney's DuckTales. It, along with Tailspin and Double-O Duck, which would become Darkwing Duck, and I believe the Gummy Bears would eventually become what we know as Disney's Afternoons. Or, if you're like me, it was what you rushed home after school to go watch on the TV before your parents got home. In the original draft of Rescue Rangers, the main character was a mouse known as Kit, who had all of Chip's, Indiana Jones coat with the little fluffy ruff and the fedora, and he was all about exploring and kind of did Indiana Jones type things, along with a previous draft of Gadget, who I believe had a different name, a Chameleon, and a version of Monterey Jack that wasn't Monterey Jack. So from the beginning, Indiana Jones was kind of a part of the Rescue Rangers aesthetic. Around 1989, where the show would eventually premiere, would be also when The Last Crusade would finally go up. It would be the third of the trilogy. There was a lot of popularity around it. People were, of course, wanting more, and we're totally in love with Indiana Jones, and obviously we're going to be sad to see him go. So when this was pitched to Michael Eisner and Jeffrey Katzenberg, I think is his name. Anyway, when this was pitched to them, they were like, well, we love it, except we're not super big on this Kit Colby guy. So it eventually was decided to actually revive two characters who already had sort of a basis in Disney, Chip and Dale. Unlike their previous shorts, they actually would be a lot more verbal, and of course they were given clothes. So Chip received the clothes that Kit would have had. He got the fedora and the fluffy leather jacket, which is actually an aviator's jacket. Obviously Indiana Jones doesn't have the floof around the collar, but clearly the aesthetic is there, and does seem to be intentional. Now, as for Dale, Magnum P.I. obviously premiered near the early 80s. I believe it was 1980 or 1981. However, it ended in 1988, and over that 7 to 8 years, obviously gained a ton of popularity. Magnum P.I., his Hawaiian shirt, and his tiny little shorts are why your mom swoons at Tom Selleck. Or why you swoon at Tom Selleck. I don't know your life. But since it ended in 1988, 1 year prior to when Rescue Rangers did finally premiere, and obviously character concepts probably were going around, but they probably would have also known in the business that it was coming to an end. So again, it's filling that need of something that you love and wanting more. Let's give you something very familiar. So Dale sort of got the Hawaiian shirt, which also fit his more cool and casual, laid-back personality. Now, from what I've actually researched about this, everything I could find about the first draft indicates that Kit Colby was going to be sort of an Indiana Jones type character and not just in dress. So this leads me to believe that originally Rescue Rangers weren't necessarily a crime fighting team. So that also might have been an influence for Magnum PI. I'm not entirely sure, but keep this in mind. While kids were obviously not really watching Magnum PI, their parents were. And if you have to watch something with your children, why not have it be something that slightly resembles something you used to love, or still love, or whatnot? Just some food for thought. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you have a wonderful Thursday. Again, be sure to check out the links in the description, and you guys continue to be lovely. Mwah!